year. What's good, y'all? You know who it is. I'm doing another Q&A real quick. Had to do these questions over one more time. I thought it would be a good idea to do some more questions and answer them, you know? So let's get right into it. First question, what keeps you going when things get tough? I usually think about my parents. The going does get tough. It always does, but I mean, I think of how much my parents have done for me, and you know, that instantly lights a spark in me to, you know, want to do more. I think about friends. I listen to a lot of music that, you know, inspires me. Next one, or next two really. Will you make mixtapes of my math highlights, and can you record my hot potato highlights? Like $50 each. I got you. Why didn't you tell me I had this at 60 frames? Do you think the Celtics should keep Kyrie Irving? I personally don't want him back. After everything that's going on, I mean, it's no secret that a lot of Celtics fans don't like, you know, Kyrie Irving. After, you know, the season he put on. I mean, he had a pretty good season in the regular season. First round against the Pacers, you know, they played pretty well, and he did pretty well himself. After game one of the second round against the Bucks, it just didn't look right for him. But to answer your question, I'd love to see him back, to be honest with you. I know he, you know, didn't seem motivated, but I want him to redeem himself wearing green. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't leave. You know, it doesn't even look like he's motivated to be on the Celtics anymore. So if he does leave, I'm not surprised. But if he stays, I'd be happy to, you know, watch him play and hopefully, you know, get us to the NBA Finals. What's it been like over the past year getting so much exposure? Yeah, a lot has changed over these past few months. When I first, you know, decided to come back, you know, I didn't really know what was gonna happen. I didn't think it would end up being like it is now. Like, I stopped filming, you know, last summer, and I was like, you know, I can't do this anymore. But something like lit a spark in me, and I was just like, you know what, I gotta get back to this. Maybe there's something good that's gonna come out of it. Something good came out of it. Support's been ridiculous. My family and my friends have always supported me, but now I'm getting much more love. Yeah, it's a great feeling, and you know, I love it. What's your build on 2K? I heard your Pro-Am team's elite. Well, first off, yes, my Pro-Am team is pretty damn elite. That's something that I'll always say. I've been playing 2K for ever, and you know, Pro-Am has always been the most fun thing to play. I play competitively, like for money. I play, you know, for tournaments and stuff like that. So, you know, I always try to, you know, find the best spot to play on, and you know, for the past year and a half, I've been on a team that's, you know, gotten to like top 25, top 15, top 10 at one point. To answer your question, I have a few builds. I have one being a sharpshooting post scorer, 94 overall, 7 feet, power forward. I also have a 91 pure lockdown defender, shooting guard, 6'7". I also have a PG that is a shot creating playmaker, but he's not ready for prime time. Once I get my big man to a 95, it's really a wrap, because I'm gonna make a, you know, sharpshooting playmaker, and I'm gonna make him OP. He's gonna be unguardable. If you had the chance to see the future or change the past, just ran out of space. Great question. I'm gonna say change the past, only because, you know, I'm kind of scared for what the future holds. Drake bars, by the way. I'd love to change the past because, I mean, there's a lot of things that I, you know, tend to regret, or I'd like to see the outcome, you know, of what happens when I'm back here now after I have changed the past. If I go into the future, I'm gonna be like shocked. Imagine if I like know when I die. I don't want to know that. What do you do as a job? I work, you know, park and rec. I do park and rec. You know, you know, I'm with kids in an after school program. And I had more questions from, you know, 2 months ago. So, and I was thinking about deleting them, but I might as well just ask them now. You know, what's the harm in that? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Really good question. I don't know. How old were you when you started playing sports? I really started playing, you know, when I was young, like when I was like 4 years old. I was playing officially when I was 5 years old. Are you doing AAU? Wow, can't speak. Do you see yourself going as far as Ball is Life, overtime, home team hoops, etc., etc.? I'd love to. You know, I'd love to have my own media empire. Where do you see the brand 1 year from now, 5 years from now, and with God's will, 10 years from now? 1 year from now, I say we're probably going to be around the same. I mean, the following, I think, will increase maybe closer to like 7,000 followers, maybe 8,000, we'll see. 5 years from now, I would hope the brand has expanded to something much larger than I'd ever intended. I hope I'd still, have thoughts of a staff. 10 years from now, with God's will, maybe reach hundreds of thousands of followers, going to other states to film other athletes, top athletes in the world. How long have you been playing basketball? I've been playing basketball since I was 4 years old. What inspired you to make mixtapes for and videos for locals? Just in general, watching hoop mixtape for years, watching Ball is Life, Home Team Hoops, and Baller Visions and all that. Watching them and seeing how much they've grown just off of doing mixtapes for all the athletes in other states, getting them publicity. I thought that there wasn't a lot of that here in Springfield alone, let alone Western Mass. For years, I've been trying to get to that point, help gain exposure for these players and for these teams. Luckily this season, the exposure got to new heights. What is your favorite thing about filming basketball? I think it's the atmosphere in the building. The atmosphere, the feeling of a rush in the crowd that even when I'm playing, it just feels amazing. Like it's a nervous kind of feeling, even when you're filming. Like especially when I was filming like Putnam and Central go against each other, like I could just feel the intensity in the room. Like it was crazy. What is your goal? Mainly, for the 4 years that I've been doing this, just trying to gain exposure for all these players and teams, and just for Western Mass. Also to just using that exposure for those players to get them to where they want to go as well. How much longer are you going to be recording for the 413? I hope to be filming, for decades, honestly. I went to school for the wrong reason. I mean, I had good intentions to go to school, but those dreams that I had before aren't the dreams I have now. I think with this whole filming thing, it's going to change my life. Who inspired you to do what you do? To do what I do, though, I can't really say. I guess, shout out to, Hoop Mixtape, Baller Visions, Ball is Life, Home Team, Overtime, etc. All of them. I think those are, and also the local videographers, they also inspire me as well, because it just goes to show you that anybody can do this as long as you put the work in. How do you feel when random people come in your camera?
Pause.
If that ever happens. First off, yes, it does happen a lot. I hate it. There was one altercation that happened, unfortunately, at Commerce, where I was filming and then I was told that I couldn't film on the baseline. So then I had to film in the crowd, and it was really hard to do that because people were coming up the stairs, going down the stairs. Because there are some plays that I have where people just get in the way and it ruins the play, period. How long have you been making tapes? Come on, dude. I've been making mixtapes for 4 years. Will you ever stop eating fries? Homie, no I'm not. Last one. What's the real reason you won't do the greatest sport alive? I noticed you didn't put a basketball on there. That's weird. I've said the same thing over and over, and it's gonna stay the same answer because that's literally like what I have to say for it. The weather. I know the weather is gonna be an issue. The wind already messes up the noise. The rain and, the cold. I mean, some days when it's hot, I understand it's gonna be easier to film. Other than that, that's tough, by itself. Also, that I have other sports to do as well. Obviously, there's gonna be people that want me to do soccer. There's gonna be girls volleyball as well. So, yeah, it's gonna be a little tough, but I'm gonna try to do it. So that's pretty much gonna do it. I had some of these questions, well, most of these questions from March, but finally got around to doing it. I want to thank everybody for submitting these questions. They're all pretty good questions for the most part. I enjoy doing these, and if you want to see more of these, then let me know. But until next time, I will see y'all later.